Hey guys, yeah, answer in the comments. I'm really curious, or send a text on Instagram at OMM the podcast, whatever. Um, if you had to change this name, um, of like the show, like what do you think is a better name for it? Cause like when I think about it, on my mind, that's the perfect name. You know what I mean? But but I want to see if you guys, the audience, can do a better job. And I'm not gonna rename the show, but I'm just it's just out of curiosity, right? It's kind of like a fun hypothetical. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I'm curious to see what you guys come up with, or I mean, if you guys come up with anything at all. Uh, oh, hello. Hi, welcome to On My Mind, the podcast featuring yours truly, Michael Martinez. Um, yeah, no, I was like messing around with the little keyboard they have here. It's a Bluetooth keyboard, and I don't know why I was so surprised by it, but yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna set this down. Okay, cool. So, yeah, hi, welcome to episode 17. I can't believe we're on episode 17. What the hell? Last week, I invited Mario, Oscar, and Idali for an unscripted episode. We talked about all sorts of things, so if you'd like to listen to a bunch of random stories and like conversations, well, actually, that's like every episode, isn't it? um, well, I don't know. Anyway, like this week, I feel like I'm taking multiple steps back, though. I'm doing a solo episode in Studio A. That might not really mean much to you, but anyway, this is like where we recorded for the first couple of episodes, and also this episode is going to be like super late. It's 2:30 when I'm recording this, the day it's supposed to go up. But I couldn't do anything about it. So late or not, I'm here to deliver another chill podcast episode. Yeah, so if you're new to On My Mind, subscribe to the show. Oh, voice crack. Subscribe to the show on whatever platform you're listening to, or you're listening to us on. Yes, video is supposed to be an upcoming feature for those of you on YouTube, but that's still like to be determined. I upload new episodes every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, I mean, when I can at least. And you can often expect guests to appear on the show, and you can always expect random conversations in a more, like laid back environment. That's kind of what I go for here with the show. So yeah, if any of that interests you, you can also follow us on Instagram at OMM the podcast for updates and bonus content, although it's mostly used for updates. And with that being said, I don't really have much else to explain. So why don't let's just jump right into the episode, yeah? All right, so from a busy school life to your usual chatter, I present to you On My Mind, the podcast. I wrote that script like 10 minutes ago. It's kind of whack, not gonna lie. But anyway, hi, welcome to the episode. This is the part where I'm not reading a script, and I try to make like the beginning sound like I'm not reading a script anyway. But yeah, no, I'm totally staring at my laptop here. I want to move the microphone, but also don't want to make noise. I'm sorry. Moving the microphone. There you go. Ooh, see now I'm like laid back, literally. No, not literally. I am in Studio A, like I mentioned in the intro, which is where I recorded, I believe, episodes 1 through. Actually, I have no idea. I think the first episode that I recorded in like a group setting was the Cali Gang episode. I forget what number it is. I think it was episode 6. So the first 5 episodes, if I remember correctly, were recorded in this room. And yeah, so the Bowden here has multiple studios. They have like 4. This one is meant for audio recording, but like in a sense of like voiceovers and stuff like that. So like these microphones are really nice. They're the I don't know, they're like Shure, like that brand. I'm not exactly sure what. Oh, this is the SM7B. Legit. Damn, these are hella expensive. Yeah, and they have 2 of these in the room. I'm in the Whisper room right now, which is like that box. I don't know, for those of you who have been listening for a while. I'm in a literal box that's covered, like the walls are covered with foam everywhere, and I literally don't have any leg room. It's like if I'm on a what do you call it, economy class plane trip right now. um I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. Let's Can I check? How do I check what's like the lowest level flight, like travel classes, where it's like, you're just the random smucks on the plane. No, it's I could say that because I always fly that way. um let's see, so the lowest, or I guess I could ask like the cheapest, like, plane seats. um yeah, the economy class. Right, so I don't know, like, I'm very cramped up in this little space. There's like I mean, it's literally just like the monitor and then a microphone in here, and this is Studio A. And earlier I was having some technical difficulties. I was supposed to start recording an hour ago. Well, okay, there's two things. One, the studio that I was gonna use was busy, and I was just like, bruh. And then I came to Studio A. I'm like, you know what? I haven't been here in a while. And I came and I realized, or I didn't realize, but I remembered why I left the studio. And dude, it's every episode it's like a new technical difficulty when I would record here. And this episode is not so different. I came here, and for whatever reason it wasn't like loading the audio interface, so I couldn't like use a microphone, I couldn't record anything. I was here for like 30 minutes trying to figure out what the hell was the problem. And then Google search really helped it. I just had to like disconnect it and then connect it back to the computer, and then it started working magically. It's so weird. I don't know, apparently it's like an OS update bug, because Apple recently did like I forgot the name. I know it's OS 12. I think it's like Monterey. Yeah, so that's kind of like an update. I guess they haven't updated the software for this yet. But I don't know. Point is, I had some technical difficulties coming into this recording session, and I'm gonna keep it real. I was very tempted to be like, you know what? I don't want to do this today. I was fed up. I was so mad, which is weird because I'm usually like someone who doesn't get mad at all, really. I mean, I could get slightly annoyed, sure, but I don't think I get like furious, like tantrum status level, like I'm just gonna destroy everything in my paths, I only see red kind of mad. No, I'm more of like I'll just stop talking and I'll be like very annoyed, and I'll just be like, you know what, this isn't even worth my energy, and I'll just like, no, well, hello. I think this thing heard me say update. I wish I could show you this, but the monitor literally just said, no pending updates, your software is up to date. Hello Siri, are you listening to me? Oh, I hope I didn't just activate. Okay, I didn't. Yeah, anyway, what was I just talking about? See, that happens a lot on this show too. I know recently, I think the numbers for like the people who are listening to the show, like in terms of who subscribed and who isn't, I think the numbers are pretty good. Recently, I believe we're at like 90% subscribed and then 10% not subscribed. 84% subscribed in the last month. Yeah, so if you're not subscribed, I mean, if you're listening to the show, I mean, by all means, like, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, I mean, I upload new episodes every week, like I mentioned in the intro. But anyway, I don't get mad easily. I feel like I have to thank but also blame my younger siblings for allowing me to kind of establish a lot of patience, because otherwise I feel like I'd pop off. And I guess also with like video games, growing up I played games like Pokemon, which require, I mean, they take a while to complete, right? So I mean, it takes a bit of patience. It's not like Mario Kart or I don't know, like FIFA, where it's just like, you play a game and you do that over and over and over and you get better at it kind of thing. No, it's like you gotta assemble a team and stuff like that. And I have stuff to talk about in terms of Pokemon anyway, because they announced Generation 9, which is, I feel like the people in my audience who actually care about Pokemon are much less significant, or like, not that you guys are not significant, but like I feel like there's a lot less of you compared to those who care about Pokemon nowadays. But listen, man, if you're a Pokemon fan, you're eating, bro. They announced Generation 9, so they're announcing, like, I guess each mainline game is broken up into generations, where like Pokemon Red and Blue on the Game Boy was like the first generation, and the most recent Sword and Shield was the kind of intro to Generation 8. And now, 3 years later, we are getting another generation, in Generation 9. This is called Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. I'm probably going to pick up Violet, not going to lie. I've always been more of a blue-purple kind of guy compared to a red-orange. But yeah. And, I mean, I'll probably be getting both anyway. Who am I kidding? But still. The point is, they released Generation 9. They did like this cool new like trailer for it. Like, it honestly had me thinking that, oh, are they gonna announce Detective Pikachu 2? I mean, I can't play it for you guys on the screen or whatever, but you know, if I had a more advanced setup and like actually knew what I was doing, this would be a Reacts podcast. No, it wouldn't. But yeah, so they did like a cool new trailer. They announced the region and like a ton of gameplay. Well, not a ton, but you know, for a trailer. And actually, they didn't really release any gameplay. They were just kind of like snapshots of, well, not snapshots because they were videos, but they were just like, you know, kind of like B-roll kind of snapshots, if that makes sense, of like the region and some of the Pokemon in the overworld. And for those of you, I think I talked about how much I love Pokemon Legends Arceus. And this is built on the same engine, so we're probably gonna have like overworld Pokemon entirely, which is awesome. And yeah, I'm very excited. They also announced the new starters. We have Sprigatito, which is like a grass kitty Pokemon. And then we have Fuecoco, which is like a little fire crocodile. It's so cute. They're all really cute. And then we have Quaxley, which is kind of like a little soldier duck or something. So yeah, that would be your grass, fire, and water starters, and they are so adorable. But honestly, like, throughout the generations, I've always tended to pick with like the water starter. I think in Diamond and Pearl, I actually went with Chimchar because, you know, Chimchar is, I mean, Infernape is just cool. And then let's see. Well, actually, going through all the generations, in Fire Red Leaf Green, I chose Squirtle. In Heart Gold Soul Silver, I chose Totodile. In Ruby Sapphire, I chose Mudkip. So those are all water starters. And then I broke away from that and I chose Infernape for Diamond and Pearl. And then Generation 5, I did Oshawott. And then I never played Gen 6 actually, but I would definitely choose Froakie. Gen 7, I went with Poplio, and then Generation 8, I was Team Sobble, and now I'm probably going to be going with Quaxley. Although for Legends Arceus, I went for Decidueye, or the Grass-type starter. And I think that's the first and only time I've ever chosen the Grass-type starter. Not that, like, they're crap or anything, but I just like fire and water so much more. Well, I mean, especially water. But yeah, that's kind of been the pattern. And oh man, I mean, they all look so good. I hope they don't I hope the final evolutions are pretty decent. Yeah, but honestly, this game is like pretty promising. It's based on Spain and Portugal, or like the Iberian Peninsula. So, you know, very colorful region. And there's a lot to work with. And I mean, if you heard me say the names, like, you can definitely hear like the Spanish influence, like Fuecoco, Sprigatito, and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just like, I'm excited, man. They're coming out later this year. I'm definitely gonna be playing them. I've yet to finish Legends Arceus, like the post game story. I finished the main game and I've been kind of like chipping away at it. But yeah, oh my gosh, to be a Pokemon fan right now, to be a Nintendo fan is it's very nice right now. Like we're getting all the new added Mario Kart courses later this summer, I think. Um or I think actually I have no idea when that's coming up, but I know we have that. Mario Strikers Battle League, dude, this summer is gonna be so much fun. Um, why am I'm such a nerd, dude. Listen, man, I love Nintendo. I grew up playing Nintendo. I never really got like a PlayStation 4. See, the fact that I called it a PlayStation 4 and not a PS4 should tell you enough. I never had like an Xbox or anything, so it's like I had a Wii growing up. My uncle had a GameCube, which I played a lot growing up. I did have a PS2, which was like my only other console that wasn't Nintendo. I had the DS, I had the Game Boy Advanced, I had the 2DS, I had the Switch. Well, I have the Switch. Yeah, it's like I've been a Nintendo kid my whole life. And what else did they announce? Oh, dude, no, Breath of the Wild 2. That's gonna be coming out, I believe, this year. I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to spread false information, but yeah, the point is, my money is going to be going towards Nintendo. I'm gonna keep it real. Yeah, so there's that. And then yeah, I mean, dude, there's just so much going on. I mean, I've had such a busy school life recently. I mean, between like all my classwork, and then we had a couple of exams and like midterms rolling around. Like if you didn't have it last week, you're gonna have some this week. So good luck to all of you who are taking midterms, or good luck to all of you who had taken midterms. You went through it. Good job. Now we gotta, keep moving forward. And yeah, man, it's pretty tough. Like right now I'm taking data structures, which is probably my most intensive class. It's computer science, and we work in Java, like the programming language. And it's like, this is my thing that I feel like I'm always gonna say. Computer science for me is so frustrating sometimes. But then when you do figure it out, which, I mean, so far I've been pretty lucky in the sense that like I've always figured out my problems, or not like all my problems, but let's not get into that. Anyway, yeah, no, like it's the most rewarding thing as well. So it's a very love hate relationship with computer science. And then I'm also taking introductory astronomy, and that class is like lecture heavy. It's just, you sit in class, it's like a room of 50 people, and you watch the projection and you take a bunch of notes. And I mean, that class has been pretty simple. Like I learned a lot of what we already, like what we're going over in like AP Physics 1. In terms of like the quantitative part, like Kepler's laws of like orbit and stuff. And then also Newton's gravitational motion, or universal gravitational motion, and then Newton's laws of motion, stuff like that, which I already went over, and it's kind of like review. But yeah, I took this class just because I didn't want to have to do like the 3-hour labs that you have to do for like chemistry and biology. That's not for me, dog. Yeah, so I mean, it fulfills the same like graduation requirement that you need, but I mean, it's astronomy, you don't need a lab. And then I'm also taking integral calculus, which I haven't taken a math class in so long. I wanted to take one last semester, but it didn't work out. And yeah, man, it's tough. Like I don't know, when I was in high school, like I really loved math. It was I think it was probably my favorite subject. And I was like, you know what, I could totally see myself being a math teacher. And now that I'm starting to get into the more advanced stuff, and it's just like the way that the professor teaches as well. Not that he's a bad professor, Professor Yassine, but it's just like it's so different of a teaching style compared to my high school teacher. Shout out to Nina Franco. But like, I felt a lot more engaged in my high school class, and then now it's like, I guess, a lot less hand holding in a way. But hey man, I got a 4 on the AP Calc exam. Like I think I can make it through this. And then my last class is kind of the mix up in the heavy STEM side. I have English composition, which is a writing class, very similar to AP Lang, for those of you who took that like junior year. Yeah, I mean, all we do is write like a paper every week, and I really love the class conversations we have, and I really like the professor. Professor Solberg is amazing. I don't know. It's like cold calling has always been a thing that like I hated, because like I just hate participating in class. It's not like I what's it called? It's not like I don't know the answer, or like I don't know, like I just hate kind of putting myself and like throwing myself out there, because I don't know, it's like, I guess I don't really know how to explain. I just don't like participating. Can I just say that and then leave it be? See, I feel like in a podcast setting, you kind of have to explain everything, or else these episodes are going to be like, 10 minutes long? And I don't know. It's like I've never had like much incentive to participate, because growing up and like going through school, like K through 12, it was always like there was always a participation grade, and I always hated being forced to participate. Socratic seminars, bro, they were my nightmare. Where you kind of just have to like, class conversation, everyone's in like a ring in the classroom or something, and the teacher just says, all right, talk. And then I'm like, oh no. Yeah, man, I always have trouble like inserting myself into conversations, which is pretty interesting because I have a podcast. But I mean, like, I think you'll notice if you've listened to like a bunch of other episodes, I tend to kind of like back down a little bit and kind of let the guests take over. Because I mean, like, when I have guests, it's kind of meant to be like their episode, and I'm just kind of there to like guide the conversation and ask questions or like give my 2 cents every here and there. But for the most part, it's kind of just like it's their episode, and when I have solo episodes like now, I mean, you can tell I have a lot to say, and I will say so much, and I won't stop talking. But I think it's very nice that I can be able to do that kind of like the switch between like, all right, I'm going to step back a little bit, and then the switch also of like, all right, I'm going all in. But I don't know, man, like in a classroom setting, I'm just not that like, I guess confident in like participating. It's always like doubting myself, like, damn, like I was it's too easy. Like, is this right? I don't know. And yeah, I guess I'm afraid to be wrong. You shouldn't be, like, I mean, don't be like me. But I don't know, man. It's something that I'm gonna have to kind of get better at, and I'll have the next 3 years to do so. Because like in a career setting, like, or like, I don't know where you would work, but there are definitely gonna have to be times where you just have to assert yourself, and like, I'm aware of that, but I don't know. There's always something like kind of pressing me down against a chair, like, something holding my hand down on the desk. Like I'm afraid to raise my hand sometimes. And I'm sure some of you may also feel that way. And so like, I get you. Or I hope you guys get me. And yeah. For those of you who like, keep raising your hand or are always participating, you were always like my hero in that class, because I can always count on you to like say something. And then there's also like the side of like, if you participate constantly and then it's kind of becomes like an expectation, then you kind of set that bar for yourself where it's like, let's say, I don't know, you weren't prepared, or like you're genuinely stuck and can't understand this concept, then it's like, when you don't participate, then everyone kind of looks at you like, are you gonna say something or no? And it's like, I don't know. Not today, folks, but yeah, I don't know. So there's that. And yeah, that's kind of like a rundown. I'm also taking concert band, which is like a half credit course to fulfill that VPA, visual performing arts requirement. Yeah, I mean, concert band has been really fun. Dude, I love playing music. It is amazing. I still get the chills, you know, and I love being like a performer, you know, like I hate being center stage, but I love performing. So I'm very I don't know what I'm saying. It's very like conflicting, right? Because it's like I love being a podcast host, yeah, but also like it's on the episodes where I have guests, it's kind of for them to shine. Not me. I'm just kind of like the voice behind the mic. I think I named an episode of that, and then I did that was like my face reveal. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the face reveal, you guys should go watch it. Um, I mean, the funny thing is, like, when I made that, I try to, like, make it a whole thing, right? Where it's like, oh my God, I did a face reveal. When in reality, like, the people who are listening to the show know what I look like anyway, so it wasn't really much of a face reveal. But it was more of, like, here's a preview to, like, video, which, you know, kind of like an update on video recording for YouTube. Like, the whole plan is to, I don't know, like, record video as well as the audio for YouTube, but obviously that means a lot more editing and a lot more adjusting, and like the setup is gonna take longer, and I really need to like get on my like I was about to say a bad word. I really need to get on myself about like meeting up with the guy who runs the studio and you know, figuring that out like in person, because I sent him an email like saying, hey, can we do this, and he's like, yeah, totally, and then that was like the end of the conversation. And yeah, I don't know, I really gotta get on that, because you know or else it's just gonna be the same thing like the the clips. Like, what happened to those? I think I promised last year, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do on my mind clips, they're gonna be on Instagram, it's gonna be a great time. And then I did the first episode and I was like, oh, that took way too long. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I have 17 episodes to do these for. Like, if it's like I sometimes wish I had an editor who I can send everything and just like, you know, only do the recording part and like the YouTube management and like the planning and like the networking. Like, I can do all that, but the editing part is the thing that honestly is the most grueling and the most like time consuming aspect. Like, not even recording, and like I record for like an hour, but then having to like, you know, do a bunch of edits and stuff like that, which I mean, you guys probably don't even notice, but that's kind of the point. But you know what, like on the other hand, it's kind of like I have this as a skill now. So, you know, I did get something out of it, and you know, it's, I guess, something I could put on my resume, you know. I mean, that was like never the intention. Like, I just want to talk, man. And I was like super bored over like the pandemic, and then this happened. Yeah, here we are now. That's crazy. I think in total, like, I know this is volume 2 and we have 17 this season, or I say season, we don't have seasons for volume 2. This is episode 17, and so I can't remember how many episodes I did. It's between 54 or 52 and 54, or maybe even 56. I know it's like a 50 even number. I don't think we went past 55 though, so it might have been 52 or 54 episodes recorded. Yeah, it's actually, I could check. I guess for a total of like 60, 70 episodes recorded. That's wild, if you ask me. Let's see, the last episode, July 16th of volume 1. That was episode, it was 56. Okay. Yeah. Last episode did not do so well. I'm gonna keep it real. It got 1 view at the time of this recording on YouTube, but it got 7 plays on Anchor, or like Anchor is kind of like the master like host hub of all the other platforms. It collects all the data and then puts it, you know, here. Although I think the data is given by Spotify, so I'm pretty sure like it only gives me the Spotify stats, which I'll have to look into. I'm not really sure, but yeah, the last episode did all right. So you know what? Thank you guys for listening so much. And yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, in terms of like the viewership and stuff like that, like, I'm not really worried about that, because I mean, I don't do this for a living, so it's like the numbers don't really impact my life that much. But it's kind of like it's just like a thing when it's like I feel so like I had so much fun talking to these people, and we had really fun conversation topics, and like, you know, we did this and that, and it was like one of the best episodes ever. And then I go into the editing stage, and I'm like, oh my god, this is really funny. Like, I don't know which moment to choose for like that little preview moment on the coming up section. And then I'm like, you know what, I'll go with this. And then I like put it, and then I send it out there, and then I'm like, all right, time to make a thumbnail. And then I have to like, you know, think, all right, what did we talk about? Like, how do I capture some of the main points of the episode? And then I'm like, all right, cool, this is my thumbnail. And then I, you know, put it all together, put it on YouTube, put it out there in the world. And then for it to only get like one view, then I'm like, damn. Like, cause it's a whole process, dude. But I mean, you know what, like, I understand, like, especially at this point in the year, like, it's very busy, and I don't think all of us have the time to, you know, sit down and listen to one of these episodes. And also, you know, like, these episodes will always be here on YouTube, well, for the most part. So it's like, yeah, I see what I do that a lot, where I kind of like, I'll say something, and then oh, I hit my head. I'll say something, and then I'll be like, well, or like I overthink it a little bit, like, well, actually, like, you know, I don't know, man. It's I'm very careful with what I say. I mean, not that like I'm gonna say anything bad, but I mean, like, I try to say things so that everything has an intention. But like I think it's a skill, really, to be able to do that. Like, I know that people spend countless hours editing and revising like papers, for example, and or like if you're writing a book, like, that's huge too. And so it's, I guess it's like very amplified with the book, where you have to like choose the right words. We were talking about this in English. I believe it was Gustave Flaubert. I may have butchered his name, but the guy who wrote Madame Bovary, apparently a very famous book, and I think my roommate read it for like his gender studies class. But yeah, and like apparently he wrote like he wrote that book in bed, and he chose every single word carefully. Like, it took him, I think, 10 years to write this book, and the reason was because he put so much dedication and like so much power into every single one of his words. Like, he wanted everything to be perfect, and apparently like what he would do is like he would, you know, write it in bed, and then the only time he would get up would be to like kind of step outside on his porch and just yell, like scream the word outside that he was thinking of, and if it sounded right, then that's what went into the book. I don't know. But that's kind of like what we were talking about in English, and I think that's just like really interesting. And we also applied that to kind of like branding, like how like how do companies and like brands make their names. Like, we talked about like companies like TikTok, Skittles, like Hydro Flask, Crocs, and like we're like, okay, so like what's the pattern here? Like, what makes this a good brand name? And I think it's all in like the sounds, and apparently like linguists or linguistics, I don't really know what the word, people who like study the language and like the sounds and the everything that has to do with what people say, apparently like they really work hard on making the perfect name. We also talked about like Sour Patch Kids and how they used to be called Mars Men, and like why would they change it and stuff like that. It's a lot of interesting stuff, like Chipotle, and we talked about how it's like it's pronounced different, like in Spanish it's like Chipotle, like it's a lot like more kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but with Chipotle, like kind of like an Americanized like mispronunciation of the word. That's kind of like if you're referring to the restaurant, you'll call it Chipotle, but if you're referring to like the pepper, or I think it's a pepper, like you'd say Chipotle. You know what I mean? Like you say it differently. And so that's just, I don't know, it's very interesting stuff, and kind of thinking about it like on my mind, the podcast. Like I didn't really put much thought into this title. Like it kind of just came up to me while I was taking a shower. I was like, I don't know, shower thoughts, man. There's something else where I'm pretty sure you guys can relate, where it's like, you'll be in the shower, you'll be having arguments with, like, damn, I really could have won if I said this, and like just thinking about contemplating life. But for me, like one day I was just kind of like, man, I really want to do a podcast, but I wouldn't know what like name it. And I think at first, like I was going to call it like the Grizzly Podcast, or something like that, because my high school mascot was a grizzly bear. And then I kind of realized, well, no, I think that's a terrible name, because I don't want to have it linked to the high school, and then for me to like continue the show after high school, like it wouldn't make sense at that point. So I was like, okay, I don't know then, like I don't know. And then I like gave up on it, and then I don't know, later that day I took a shower, and then it just hit me, and I was like, on my mind. And I remember saying it like out loud in the shower, and I was like, on my mind, the podcast. Yeah. And then I kept it. That's how the name was chosen for this show. That's yeah, I don't know. So it's like trying to think, like, is there any like subtle things, like, I don't know, like I wish I could, go to like a linguistic expert, or I still don't know if I'm saying that right. Well, basically like an expert who can kind of break down on my mind, like the name and like how it sounds and like where it comes from and stuff like that, and like how it fits, its relevancy, all that sort of stuff, and give me like on a scale of 0 to 100, like how good of a name is that. I may be a little bit biased, but I give myself at least 100%. I'm kidding. Yeah, actually, that's an interesting question. If you had to change the name of this podcast, like, what would you change it to? Oh my gosh, I know what the intro moment is. Hey guys, yeah, answer in the comments. I'm really curious, or send a text on Instagram at OMM the podcast, whatever. If you had to change this name, of like the show, like what do you think is a better name for it? Because like when I think about it, on my mind, that's the perfect name, you know what I mean? But I want to see if you guys, the audience, can do a better job. And I'm not gonna rename the show, but I'm just, it's just out of curiosity, right? It's kind of like a fun hypothetical. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. And I'm curious to see what you guys come up with, or I mean, if you guys come up with anything at all. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, I'm just doing a little bit there. All right, so that's the intro moment. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I've had some fun podcast ideas for the show. And I think actually I haven't even checked in a while. But I have this form that you can find in like the YouTube. What do you mean I need access? That you can find in like the description of YouTube videos. But I have like this form where you can send like random stuff. Like you can submit like a message to someone else. You can do like a topic submission. You can do someone submitted new stuff. That's interesting. You can submit challenges and fun stuff like that. So it's very, very interesting stuff. Yeah, I don't know, but like obviously that's been kind of inactive lately, and I may need to update the forums or something. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, point is they're there. If you're curious and have ideas for the show and think you can do a better job of this than me, then, by all means, send a topic submission, send a challenge submission, and it'll probably be done in, the next couple of episodes or something. You never know. But yeah, it's like, I got the whole Cards of Against Humanity tarot thing that I did a couple episodes with Weatherspoon on the episode called Bussin' Bussin'. You should check that episode out if you haven't already. That episode was really fun. But yeah, I believe that was from a challenge submitted like topic. Yeah, so you never know what I could pull out with, or you never know what I could do with these things, because back when they were very strong, like people were submitting topics and stuff, like I responded to them. Like I remember someone wanted to learn about like the Mandela effect or wanted me to talk about it, so I did literally like a whole formal research report on it. And yeah, I don't know, I was a professor for a day, and I believe you can find that episode in the archives of the YouTube channel. If you go on our YouTube channel at or I mean like on My Mind the podcast, you can go, you see the playlists, right? And then you have the archives, you have volume 2 in the archives. Yeah, so if you ever want to catch up on like episodes, you can check out the archives. This is like, I mean, a lot of them are like, they jump around a lot, because I made some private and then I made some unlisted. And so unlisted basically means like they're still accessible to anyone who has the link. And if you can access the playlist, you have the link. So that's kind of how they work. And then private means that only I have access to it for reasons I'm not going to talk about. Excuse me. But yeah, no, we have a lot of good episodes. Like, I believe, yeah, episode number 4, Professor Martinez tries to sound smart. That's where I talk about the whole Mandela effect. Not sponsored by the Mendez gang. That's when I met up, or like I did a little reunion with some of my middle school friends, and we talked for like an hour and a half. Really fun episode, super fun. And then you can also check out, let's see, I would check out the Santos interview. That's when I interviewed my teacher. And actually I've been thinking about that recently. Like, what if I got like professors as guests at Bowdoin? Because I mean, these are probably going to be some of the most interesting people I meet, and to really take advantage of that, like, you know, not only to build a network, but also like, yo, views. No, I'm kidding. But like, I think having a professor would be really fun. And actually, it's funny. Yesterday, I was meeting, or like I was coming to the library to record an episode, and I ran into one of my former professors, Dr. Purnell. I had him over the summer when I was in the GCS, kind of like, I forgot what it was called. Well, it was like the summer thing, the summer program. And yeah, so he was my professor back then, and we kind of like, you know, caught up a little bit. And then I was like, yeah, I'm on my way to record a podcast episode. And he's like, oh, you have a podcast? And then he was like, and you haven't invited me? And I'm like, whoa. But also, I'd totally be down to have a professor on the show. I just feel like I'm way too awkward to, like, you know, because I mean, if you think about it, like, some of these episodes are so informal and like so whatever, and I feel like I would have to make it formal, but also like I would also want to kind of humanize these people. I mean, they're already humanized, but I feel like just, you know, and like a teacher, professor, like we humanized my band teacher a lot. So we asked questions of like, are you thinking about having kids and stuff like that? And like, you know, he was really cool about it. And all of the questions that we asked him on like the Santos interview episode, which is episode 34, they were all submitted by his students. So it was like, I sent out an Instagram post. I was like, what do you guys want to know? And no, I think I sent out a form that he put on all of his like classroom things. Like he shared it with everyone, all of his students, and people came through, dude. We had like 30-40 questions to ask. And yeah, and then I also invited, well, actually I invited special guests. I'm not going to spoil the surprise so that you guys can get surprised as well. But yeah, I did a little something. So like I made it a huge episode. So much planning went into that. Oh my god, this is bringing me back. I'm feeling nostalgic, man. Um, yeah, and then there's also like breaking up couples. Probably one of my favorite episodes to record. We pretty much like imitated the Newlywed Game, um, where like I mean yeah, the Newlywed Game where it's like what's it called? Um, Couples compete against each other to see like which couple knows each other the best, and the way you do that is like you ask a question and you're supposed to guess your partner's answer, right? So if I say like, are you a dog person or are you a cat person? So then if I was to guess my girlfriend's answer, then I would be like, oh, I don't know, she just probably gives me dog person vibes. Or maybe we've like, this is something we've already talked about before, and so like I already know. But yeah, and then whoever has the most points at the end wins. I'm not gonna spoil who won, but you should definitely check that episode out. Because I mean, I have some really fun ones, and these are all like vintage. Like this is like super classic. I used to record. I say this all the time. I literally used like my phone as my microphone, and then I did these over Discord, and so my audience and like my guests. I mean, not my audience, but my guests. You would hear them through like my laptop speakers. It was so bad. I'm so lucky to like be here now with like a whole professional setup. Yeah, so it's just like that. I don't know, man. It's been very, 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 very fun doing this. I started September 25th 2020, and we're getting, I was about to say we're getting close. Wait, September 25th? No, May 20. Holy crap. We're almost hitting the 2-year anniversary. Why did I say September 25th? That was the start of volume 2. I see. Yeah, no, but volume 1 started May 25th of 2020. And then we started volume 2 September 25th. This is like the college edition. Yeah, and I gotta say the quality has definitely increased like by whole leagues, bro. It's actually amazing. I'm so proud of what I've done in the past couple of years, because wow. Yeah, so actually I started recording episodes in mid-April. If you go on Spotify, those are Spotify exclusives. You can see I uploaded, I believe they're called Season 0, and it's like the original, or like I forgot what I named the first one, but it's 5 episodes, and these are like raw. When I started doing this podcast, my audience was only 6 people that I shared a folder with to kind of like pitch this idea. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be uploading this, can I get some feedback, like what do you guys think? And so these were like 6 people I trusted very much, and I don't know. And then eventually I made the decision. I was like, you know what? Let's go on YouTube. And I made a whole YouTube account. I did all that. I made a social media. Actually, if you go on like the Twitter, I think, you can see that I joined Twitter in April of 2020, which is like a whole month before, because I wanted to secure the handles the podcast. And so I was like, I gotta jump on this, even like if I don't use it, I can always terminate the account or whatever. But yeah, no, I definitely, I spent a solid month planning this podcast before it went public, which is crazy. Because, I mean, 1, the fact that I had the time to do that, and then 2, like, it definitely shows how much this means to me. So yeah, like I really hope you guys are enjoying these episodes, because I mean they're so much fun to record. Like I some of my fondest memories come from these episode recordings, and it's just like, yeah, man, like I love having friends on the show. It's just like so much fun to record. Yeah, so that's kind of like the podcast. I've been talking for 48 minutes now. What the hell? Yeah, I mean, I don't even. Oh, just kidding. I was about to say, like, I don't even know what I'm gonna put as the oh my gosh, the preview coming up thing. But I forgot I already established that. Yeah, and I guess, looking past that was, I mean, looking at the past, like, it made me feel so nostalgic. Like, I'm smiling. You could probably hear that. Yeah, no, but I mean, I guess moving forward, it's like, what do we got coming up? Spring break is like next week, so that's gonna be interesting. When this episode goes up next week, no, when this episode goes up today, a week from now, I'll be in California, like on Saturday when the next episode goes up. So that's actually crazy to think about. I gotta pack. I gotta figure out how the hell I'm getting to the airport. Oh my gosh, there's so much to like do. And yeah, so I'm planning, today's Saturday. I'm planning to like really get work done. I'm talking about like getting ahead so that I will be able to relax and kind of do all this planning and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's kind of like the plan. But of course I gotta release this episode. So that's kind of like the plan. I was checking my phone. Excuse me. Sorry. See, like I said, I can't do that on solo episodes. Check my phone mid recording. But I had like a bunch of notifications. Just wanted to make sure none of them were like urgent or like important. But yeah, spring break's coming up. So then I'm planning to spend time with family. I'm gonna be hanging out with my girlfriend a bunch. Hopefully, that's the hope. Long distance relationships, dude. Oh man, this could be its like whole episode, just me talking about this. Yeah, so I guess I started going out with Melanie officially October of 2020. I think October 3rd is our anniversary date. Oh my god. Oh man, that stretch was very nice. Yeah, so me and Melanie started dating then. Although we were like very good friends way beforehand. And I mean, we eventually became like best friends, and then it kind of just like, hey, do you feel something more? And then we felt mutual about each other, and now we've been going out. We just hit, I think, like 17 months being together. That's a year and 5. Yeah, I can do math. Yeah, so that's kind of been a thing for a while now. And what's crazy is like a lot of that was like long distance. It felt like that because due to the pandemic, our first couple of months together, we didn't really see each other often because I mean we couldn't go out, so I would literally just visit her like place. And then that was it. We just chill like in the living room. And damn, I really need a sip of water. You know what? Now I could tough it out. I only have like 10 minutes left of this show. Yeah. So, sorry, I'm like all over the place. What the hell? That's what you get with this show, especially towards the end when I'm starting to like, really get low in like the energy. But this is important to say. So, it kind of felt like a long distance relationship. Just because like I didn't see her for like quote unquote long periods of time. Imagine thinking a week is a long period of time. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then over the summer during like actually from like the end of the summer till the winter break started, I had not seen or like been with my girlfriend in that long. And if it wasn't for technology, I mean, dude, like video calls, we would have them every weekend. And it's tough, man, because it's like sometimes it's like you just have to be there for them, you know what I mean? And like there could be nothing that you could say that would make them feel better when they're like really hitting the low points of like, damn, struggling with homework, struggling with this and that. And like I want to be there for her, but it's very hard to do so when there's like a screen and thousands of miles like blocking you from just giving her a hug. Like that's all I want to do. That's all I can do to help, but like I can't. And it's I don't know, man. Like I feel so bad in those moments, and it's tough. Like long distance relationships are super tough, but Melanie is so worth the wait. Like I don't know, she's like the most amazing person I know. She's very special. Really like a huge part of my life, and yeah, I mean I love her so much, and anyway, I'm kind of getting distracted here just thinking about her. But yeah, I mean, it's like long distance relationships suck. But when we're together, it's you know, I'm the happiest. So there's that. And yeah, I guess where else am I happy? I'm really happy when I play music. You know, just being in a like ensemble is so much fun. It's I don't know, it's just like okay, I'm starting to get really happy now. It's just like being in an ensemble is so much fun, and I make my girlfriend jealous because of this, because we met through marching band, and like she's not in like the concert band at her school, and I am. It's so much fun, dude. Like there are no words to explain the feeling that I get when I am sitting with that group and playing music. Like everyone is so passionate about it, and it's super contagious, and when you play the music and like it sounds good, dude. Oh my gosh, like I get so happy just thinking about it. Also when I play ultimate frisbee, it's so much fun. I know people like crap on it so much because it's like not a sport, but it's a sport, and I mean it definitely is. Like it can get super competitive, and you know, like there's so much that goes. It's not a simple like, you know, throwing a frisbee in your backyard kind of thing. There's so much that goes into it. Yeah, I'm like totally all in on for the frisbee team. I mean, like my name, I have like a name, and I have like a number, and I'm gonna be playing in like competitive tournaments and such. So like I'm really excited to be like to kind of grow as like a team player. And yeah, it's definitely like it's just cool to think when I came here, like I thought I knew how to throw a frisbee, and then I joined the team and I'm like, wow, I don't know how to throw a frisbee. And my level of improvement has definitely been very high. Well, comparatively speaking, considering I was such a noob back then, and I'm still a rookie. Like I definitely don't have the experience of being on like the field against another team. I've only been at one tournament, and that was like a blast. And it took like most of the day. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like I love the people in the team too. Like they're homies. The only thing is though, is that like frisbee is a party sport. So there are parties that I've never been to a party. You know, in general. Well, actually, that's a lie. See, I do that a lot. I'm telling you. Remember when I mentioned earlier, like I do the overthinking thing? Yeah, I catch myself doing it all the freaking time. And the other thing that I say, I mean, I do this a lot, and Melanie gets like super mad about it. Where it's like I'm shutting down. I'll like, I'll start to say something, and I'm like, never mind. And then, I mean, it's not that like it's a bad thing to say. It's just that, like, if I have a question, I'll be like, oh, I figured it out while asking the question. It's so dumb, but I mean, I do it all the time, and yeah. I don't know. It's kind of fun to like mess around with my girlfriend like that too, or it's like I'll pretend to say something. I'll be like, never mind, because I know she hates it. Yeah, and yeah. So anyway, college parties. I've been to a couple, but not for long. And I don't know, man. Like well, first of all, I don't drink, so that's already like the biggest thing that kind of turns me away from parties. But also, it's just like the environment. I don't know. Like I could probably be fine. Like, I mean, I grew up, you know, going to a lot of like family parties, and I get that that's different. But I don't know. It's like you probably can't imagine me, you know, going crazy on the dance floor or anything like that. And I mean, if you thought that, I mean, you wouldn't be wrong. So yeah, I don't know. It's like I've only been to a couple. And I mean, they weren't like bad experiences, but they also weren't like the best thing ever that, oh my gosh, I want to do this every weekend kind of thing. Um yeah, I don't know. It's like my weekends are kind of like, okay, on Friday nights I work at something called Super Snacks. Um and then so that takes up like my night cuz my shift is from 10 to 2 a.m. And you know, that's like when all the parties are going on. And then um Saturdays it's like kind of well, I guess in terms of like the nights, um I usually have a call with Melanie on Saturday nights, so it's kind of like that's our thing. I don't know. There was like a huge. I remember when I was first getting the job for Super Snacks, I was like in between getting one for Saturday or for Friday, and I'm so glad I went Friday. But so like the whole issue was like, oh, because back then we used to do our calls on Friday nights, and so that was like a weekly schedule we had already established. I think I could be wrong. Melanie, if you're listening to this, correct me if I'm wrong. But the point is, I was like, oh, like I want to call you on Friday, but like I would have to work and stuff like that. And then we eventually were like, all right, Saturdays are cool. But yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. And then I mean Sundays goes into Monday, so like you're not gonna catch me, and you're not gonna catch a lot of people partying anyway. That's usually homework grind time for all the stuff I didn't do over the weekend. But you know what, this weekend's gonna be different. I'm going to actually get work done today, or so that's the plan. Yeah, and I don't know. Like I'll probably go to college parties like maybe later on, if I can somehow find a better balance of time and stuff like that. But at the moment, like I just don't really see like a certain appeal. I guess it also depends on like the people I'm with. Like I could do small parties, you know, where it's like, I mean, not that many people, right? So you know, something more chill and like we're all kind of like doing something fun. Like I'm so down for that, where it's more of like a little get together and like just to hang out, really. But like a full blown party where you got music blasting, everything's all dark. Like I don't know about that. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes in the future. And it's kind of crazy where it's like I'm a college student not going to parties. What am I doing? Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah. So like I had a couple of things on here that I wanted to talk about, and everything that I've talked about thus far has been on this sheet, or on this like document. And I did a pretty good job of like interweaving between them, I think, because I feel like I made it seem relatively natural. That's also a skill, being able to organize your communication, which I think in writing, organization and like fluidity between like, you know, transitions and stuff like that between like two different things is probably my biggest strength. I usually fall to like the more advanced grammatical errors. Like I can spell, I can, you know, I know when things don't sound right grammatically, but there are some like little nitpicky things. Like I don't know, I tend to be a very strong writer. I'm planning on being a writing assistant for the the like, it's called the Baldwin Center for Learning and Teaching, and that's kind of like what I want to do. Like I found a new passion, not a new passion, this has always been a thing, but just like a passion of like helping others, and being that kind of like mentor figure, and yeah. So I don't know, man, it's like I'm very excited to see the opportunities that lie ahead of me, including the chance of being a writing assistant, being a peer mentor for Thrive, which is like it's kind of like our program that we have here at school. that is supposed to build community amongst, like minority groups. And yeah, it's very fun. Like the whole point of being a peer mentor is to kind of help the transition for like a first year kind of be a lot more nice, and to check up with them every now and then, and to just kind of like be there for them whenever they need support. And I'm totally down to do that, yeah. But with that being said, I'm running out of things to say. I mean, I have more things on here, but I think we can save that for another episode. We hit an hour mark, and this has been a fun time. My voice is also starting to get shot. I don't know if you noticed that. Due to the lack of hydration, you guys should stay hydrated, folks. It's very important. And with that message, I'll leave you guys be. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I love you all. Thank you for listening. Yeah, do something nice for someone today. That's my challenge for you. It shouldn't be a challenge. Come on, man. All right. So then, with that being said, this has been On My Mind. I'll see you guys next week in California, baby. All right. Bye.